An employee culture is an information gathering organism designed to assure its own survival. And it's basically, it's not any more complicated than that. And the implications of that for you are that the culture's antenna is working 24/7, tracking you constantly, seeking information. Your culture's credibility detector is nearly infallible. Its perceptions are alarmingly accurate. Its memory is elephantine. You cannot bribe, bluff, or bully an employee culture into sustainably believing or doing anything. You can't tell it what to believe. You can't stop it from existing. But you can take comfort from recognizing that an employee culture will give you whatever you want. You just have to give it what it wants first. An employee culture is an independent organism living right inside the enterprise with its own purpose and all the power to make or break any management plan and any manager. Its purpose is to protect itself, not the company. Now, from a management standpoint, that makes no sense. If what you are obsessed with is your survival, do your job and you'll keep it. What, and there's some emotional thing? Do a good job, we'll tell you that. But that only works for your culture if it perceives a reliable through line between what happens to the company and what happens to the culture. And generally, there's a lot of dirt in that machine. A culture is measurable. I'm asked all the time, what's the definition of a great culture? And I think people expect me to say, it's a happy culture. Well, you certainly do not want your culture to be actively unhappy. That is not a good thing. But a great culture is a committed culture. And the commitment of your culture is measurable with any metric you use to manage the business. A culture is genetic. And by that, I mean every employee is immediately and automatically a member of your employee culture. Within an hour of their arrival, they are paid a visit by the cultural welcome wagon, who gifts them with a legend to kind of activate them, because the culture knows the more people looking out for the safe watering hole, the safer it is for everyone. There's no rope line, there's no probationary period. Everybody in the company is a member of the employee culture except you. A culture is hereditary. What I mean by that is because your culture exists to protect itself, it has to believe something is real or it will go insane. So at some point, your employee culture, like any employee culture, put a stake in the ground to say, this is the way things are around here. And as soon as it did that, it made some key decisions that form its belief system. Like, should we trust management when management talks? Should we commit financially and intellectually and physically, but withhold our emotional commitment? When we're recognized for our performance, does that mean we're safer? And a lot of other decisions. Now, your culture didn't try and get it wrong when it put the stake in the ground, but it could have. It just had the data it had and its ability to interpret it. Doesn't matter. Stake goes in the ground, the belief system is formed. And because a culture is a human organism, like any of us, once we make a decision, we look for information to confirm it, not to contradict it. So even if your culture guessed wrong, it has found what it considers reliable proof points for its point of view and hardwired that point of view. Now, I mention all of this because you don't know when your culture put that stake in the ground. It could have been yesterday, it could have been last week, it could have been 10 years ago. Because what happens is that it becomes a belief system passed down from one tenured generation to the next. And companies that just think, well, there's a toy. There's a toy in America, I don't know if it made it to South Africa, called an Etch-a-Sketch. It's got little knobs and a TV screen, and it etches in on graphite, and you draw this little picture, and then when you're done with it, you shake it, and the screen is blank again. That's the way management thinks a culture's belief system is. We just shake it, and it's blank again. Time does not dilute a culture's beliefs. It confirms them, because it keeps adding bullet points. Now, management is focused on success. You're always looking forward to see what can be sold next. Your culture is focused on survival. It's always looking backwards to see what happened to the last thing it was sold.